Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Mfawa Alfred Onen, aka Murphy. A couple of days ago, I kind of posted this on my blog: how to set up the the Wi-Fi hotspot manager on CentOS 6. This is as a follow-up of a previous guide I did back in 2009. The software is very great. It's cool. It was developed by Dirk van der Wald, and I urge you to check it out if you've not set up this system. This is cool if you're trying to set up a very robust free radios or radios management package. So you see I have 3 videos split into 3 parts. This is just to kind of allow easier kind of way to follow the videos. So there are requirements here which I've uploaded here, and it's a good read, and hopefully you get to learn some stuff. So today I basically am bringing you a new stuff. This is RadiusDesk. RadiusDesk is developed by the same person who built the Wi-Fi hotspot manager. This, as you can see here, it's a modern web top front end to free radios. So basically this is the future, right? So you can see this has been built. This is very much early in the stage of development. Basically it has not reached an alpha stage, but we are very excited to get stuff that is in the works. This is just to let people know that there's something coming up out there, and it's really going to be great. One of the major features you can see here is the BYOD, basically, which is an acronym for bring your device or bring your own device. This is basically what is happening in corporate environments or enterprise. So this is really a cool basically it's going to be a cool software, really. And you can see here at the moment it's just basically in code. Like I said, it does not even reach an alpha stage yet, but I'm just going to go ahead and show you how to set it up anyway, just to allow you to see the nice graphics and what to expect in the future. So the wiki here, you can see the mission statement by Dirk van der Wald. You can see the RadiusDesk project is committed to create an inclusive web-based management solution to free radio. So basically what he's trying to aim here is professionalism, scalability. It has to be enterprise ready. Basically it remains open source, developer friendly, so it makes it easy to extend the system. You can easily translate it into any language you prefer. It's going to have a lot of documentation. This is promised. Basically you can see here he added me to the team, so we're going to work on the documentation, and then you guys should expect a lot from it. So basically he just kind of cooked up a simple installation guide on the wiki, and basically this is still as usual. This is Ubuntu, so I'm going to show you how to set it up in CentOS 6. This is just to make those of you who are the the Red Hat realm to really follow what's going on in development stage. So a couple of things have changed also. As you can see, it still remains it still uses the Cake PHP framework. This is because of the robustness and the kind of good framework Cake PHP is. Cake PHP has been the core PHP framework for the the projects he has built. And as you can see, one of the driving factor, one of the reasons he chose Cake PHP also is because of the ease of creating RESTful services and exporting data in JSON format, which he can now use in JavaScript. So talking of JavaScript, he has ditched the old Dojo toolkit. He has gone for the XJS toolkit this time around, and hopefully this is because this supports one of the latest and greatest in terms of Web 2.0 and all. So hopefully the project is in good hands and has a good future. So having said that, basically I have a basic install of CentOS 6, and I will basically show you what you need to have installed. Like I said, this video basically will just show you how to set it up on CentOS, and a lot of things have not been done yet, so you have to just follow it along, and hopefully it will be great. So I'm going to mount it in the CD-ROM directory. If you're wondering, I've already created a CD-ROM directory here. So I want to kind of install a couple of packages on the media, and that's why I'm putting this command. So the C6 media, and basically we want to install a couple of packages. So the first thing I want to install is the system config network TUI. Basically this is what I just installed. Just allow me maintain the network. Install nano wget subversion. The reason you need subversion is because you're going to be doing some SVN checkout basically, so on the site, so you require the SVN subversion package installed. You need a couple more, so we can go ahead and install MySQL server. You can go ahead and install Apache httpd, okay, php, MySQL, php, pair. So this should go ahead and resolve for dependencies, and hopefully to come back and install the required system. So one of the things he has left for later is the free radius part of things, so that is still in development. Basically what we're trying to just show, like I said earlier, is just the the user interface, what's going on, and in terms of usability, what needs to be what we need to know, and features to support in not so distant future. So but just for completeness, I'm just going to install the free radius package, free radius MySQL, and the free radius Perl package. So hopefully we get to install more packages as the as need be, but for now we can do with this. So I'm just going to allow this install. Hopefully it's not too much of a download. So what I did, just to save some time, is I've downloaded the RadiusDesk source package. You can see here I created a directory called RadiusDesk tools. I downloaded the latest version of kickphp and the open source version of the XJS. So this is where you get the kickphp set up. They've moved to GitHub for some time now, so you can just download the latest tag here. You can see this is 2.3.1, so there's a new update 4 days ago. That's nice. So to download XJS, this is the site to get the XJS. This is their website, and this is the download page. And what they do is they offer you a commercial version of the CentOS XJS and the open source version, which you can use in open source projects. So basically this is the version we downloaded, so you can go ahead and download this one. And the CentOS the company are the ones responsible, or behind the very popular CentOS Touch. So for those of you building hybrid applications for touch enabled devices. Alright, so hopefully our install has started. So for some reason it's stalled, so we're just gonna be a little bit patient. Once it's resolved, then we can continue as well. Okay, so the installation is complete, so let's clear the screen. One more thing, I noticed the first command I typed earlier had a typo, so basically I just felt I'll just show you on screen. So let me just bring the command up. Alright, so basically there was a typo. I added a D here, so this kind of made it to stall for a while. When I figured out, I removed it and everything went successfully. So once we have that installed, we can go ahead and do the necessary setup by adding the Apache service, making sure it's on, making sure the MySQL server is also on. Alright, so once we have that, we can create a directory here. I'm just going to call it tools. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is I'll launch a copy of WinSCP. This is so that I could just log into my server. Alright, yes, update. Alright, so basically I'm already logged into tools. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy the whole I'm just going to copy the whole folder. So make sure it's copied to the server. Alright, so and also didn't show you how to get the source codes from sorry about that. That's for RadiusDesk. Basically what I did was I kind of just did an SVN checkout on this link. This is the trunk, as you can see. So this is the active development trunk. Basically, so what this will do is to check out the whole directory for you, to check out everything. Basically, it depends on what you called it. I called mine RadiusDesk tools, so you can call it anything. I need to download the 2 required packages for the RadiusDesk package. So basically that was what I did, and once the copy is complete, yes, it's complete, we can go ahead and start. So what we need to do first is to make sure we have the kickphp installed. Basically, by installation, this is simply me saying that we extract we extract the cake PHP archive, and kind of move the cake PHP archive into the web root of Apache. So in CentOS, the web root is var.html. So we're just going to call it cake2. Basically, this is one of the requirements. So also ensure that it is kind of owned by the Apache user. So cake2. This is just to ensure that everything here is readable and writable by the Apache server. Alright, so having done that, we can basically kind of go into the directory here, cake2. So in there you can see this is just a basic install of the kind of cake PHP setup. So what we need to do is copy from the root tools RadiusDesk directory, the RadiusDesk tools. We need to copy the rd_cake file. We need to copy it to the root of the cake PHP install. So if you're wondering where the root is basically in the var.html cake2 directory. So we need to also kind of recall our command just to ensure that this time around our rd cake is owned by Apache. Alright, so once we do that, we can go ahead and go into the rd directory, and in there you can see the setup subdirectory. So here you can see the two files we need to work with. The first one is the db. So you can see db here. You can see everything, as I said, is still work in progress. So we're just going to go ahead and set up the MySQL database and import the sample data in the MySQL database. So the first thing we need to do is also start the following services. So start Apache. So also start the MySQL server. So because this is starting for the first time, it's just going to go ahead and initialize the server. Alright, so we can easily connect to the MySQL server by just typing the MySQL-u option to specify the user root. So here we can go ahead and create a database. So the default database that's created in RadiusDesk is the RD database. The next thing we need to do is create a user. So we need to grant all privileges to the RD database. Alright, so let's start with on the RD database, then to a particular user. So we're going to specify the user. So we specify the host is going to connect from, because we are going to host everything locally, so everything has to be on the same server. Alright, so we need to identify the user by a password. So we're just going to specify RD. I'm using these values because this is the default value that has been hard coded into the installation, but feel free to go ahead and modify as appropriate. So basically, once I have that, I'm just going to go ahead and add this in. So this is just to ensure that the two hosts, it doesn't matter what you use, it's going to connect. So basically what we've done, I can go ahead and exit this and run the MySQL-u root rddb, and we're going to kind of run the rd_wip.sql file. So once everything comes back, it means it's successful. So you can easily check that by, and by the way, if you do an ls-a, you can see that in terms of file size, the rd_wip is larger than, right? So you can see it's larger. It's about 149 kilobytes as opposed to the 22. So I know some of you might want to just import this, but this contains the recent changes, so go ahead and do that. Alright, so once we have that kind of set up, like I said, you can easily verify that by using the RD database and showing all the tables. You can see a lot of tables here, so it means our installation went well. Alright, so basically we've imported the file. So what we need to do is to go into the httpd conf directory. This is where Apache stores its configuration file, so we need to also kind of edit the file. So what we need to do basically is to scroll to the end of the file, and in the end of the file we need to add some kind of compression options here. So what I'm going to do is basically on the wiki he has here, somewhere here you can see the the files we need to copy. So I'm just going to copy all this. Right, so paste it, And if you're wondering, I've already explained this in the previous video when I was setting up the Wi-Fi hotcakes manager, but I can easily just go ahead and kind of update it for you. So the first thing we need to do is to update the directory, the directory here. So you can see it's pointing to the var.dub directory. This is because it's the default for Ubuntu. So but for CentOS, we have it in the var.dub html cake2 subdirectory. So the first thing we need to do is to actually ensure that since PHP uses the .htaccess files for route handling and all that, we need to allow override to the Apache configuration files using the htaccess file. So this is what this does. The next thing is a couple of deflate options here. This just kind of tells us how to compress the files and what to compress, and the kind of request we should listen for when compressing the files, so we can use any of the format. So the other things here, you can see here the add expiry date is just to add some expiry dates to the headers of the files, in this case the static contents on the site. This is just to prevent kind of repetitive download of the same file. So this just basically improves the performance of the page over on the wire. So I'm going to save that and I'm going to restart the HTTPD service. Right, so this will go ahead and stop the service and start it. So once it has done that successfully, basically we can go ahead and test the default installation of the rdcake file. So for some reason the HTTPD field for CentOS, alright, colon reliability time is our fully qualified name. Alright, so let's also ensure that we PD Alright, so basically if you're wondering what I just did the service HTTPD config test. So this is just to test our configuration file to ensure that we have all this. So you can see the APR sock address get info get field for this CentOS dot kind of mal morphy.lan and all that. So we need to modify that. So one of the things we need to do is to go into the etc hosts file, and okay, so everything here is intact. So what we need to do is to also add an entry for the CentOS on the CentOS dot LAN user. So this basically let's try start it again. Alright, so it's still failing. Alright, so for the server name, alright, so let me go ahead and figure this out, and then kind of continue from there. Alright, so basically a quick look at the the Apache error files shows us that the no such file directory so could not open the var log apache 2 file and then write in the deflate file. So we just need to modify the changes we made by also modifying one more entry here. So we kind of overlooked that, which is very important. So you can see here Ubuntu uses the var log apache 2 deflate option, so we need to change this to httpd. So var log httpd and the deflate. So basically this is what stopped the Apache server from starting. And of course you can see that var the config, because some of you might be wondering how come you checked the configuration file and it says the syntax was okay but you're refusing to start. So like the syntax is correct, yes, but the directory does not exist, so there's no way Apache will know that the directory is invalid. So alright, so we need to go to start. So this should go ahead and start successfully, of course. So we just can just quickly test that we can reach the the server. So for me, this is the IP address of the server. Alright, so anytime you do that, for instance, if you have the default installed like I did or like I have, let me go ahead and load that again. I just want to show you. Alright, so you can see here that it could not connect to the database and all that. So one of the things we need to do as a quick fix, just to show you what is stopping it, is because we have the if I do an IP tables and I do an L flag, you can see that the server has gone ahead and locked itself down. This is the default behavior of IP tables in the in Linux, in Red Hat CentOS. So what we need to do is we need to flush the the tables, and we need to save that. Why I'm doing that is because for me, as a matter of preference, what I could have done is just add the port 80, you know, in Apache to this file, and then, you know, everything will work fine. But what I prefer to do is open up everything, set up the server, and then lock it down afterwards. So I have full control of how I lock it down anyway. So, but I think it's just a matter of preference. So for most of you, you have to, you know, choose between the two options. So for me, I open up everything and, you know, kind of deal with the problems later. So if I try this again, I should be able to reach the Apache, you know, web server. You can see that for CentOS. So this is good. This is all. So because we've done the RD cake setup, what we can do is basically just, you know, kind of just copy this line. This is from the wiki, as you can see here. This is just to test that we have a functional, you know, kind of document. So I'm just going to paste this. I did this beforehand. This is because this is the IP address of my server, so you can go ahead and replace this with the IP address of your own server. So if you're working locally, you can be localhost. Alright, so basically once you have this, it means you've successfully, you know, kind of done stuff. This is not supposed to make sense, but, you know, as you can see here, basically we're just trying to access the language, you know, string file in the .json format. So one of the advantages also of using the Wi-Fi or the RD cake, you know, or the RadiusDesk system on cake PHP. Alright, so once you have this, it means everything is successful, and, you know, you can go ahead and continue, you know, with the installation plans, of course. So the next thing we need to do here basically is to go back to the, you know, the root directory here. You can see, so I'm going to go ahead and copy the viewer component. So still within the tools, you know, the RadiusDesk files that we have, Radius tools, we need to copy the RD directory here. So we need to also remember to, you know, kind of just alright, so something is not right. Alright, so no such file or directory. Alright, so let's just do this and ensure that we're able to copy the files. Alright, yep, we have the RD directory. So for some reason the file oh, alright, so basically I understand what I did. Small typo here, so, you know, kind of I need to do that. Alright, so this will go ahead and kind of, you know, make the file. Alright, so you can see the file is owned by Apache. So we need to do a couple of things in here anyway. We need to ensure that we have the XJS file or the XJS set up properly. So we need to go into the RD directory here, and in here we need to, you know, kind of extract or copy in our tools, RadiusDesk, Radius. Alright, so in the tools, what we have here is the x, you know, js.zip file. So we need to copy it here. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and just alright, so basically let's see, we need to install the unzip command. This is just the unzip package, so allows unzip packages. Alright, so this should hopefully just go ahead and quickly install the file. Alright, great. So we need to just run the unzip command of the XJS file, and this should go ahead and zip the file. So big download, 45 megs, and this is because it has a lot of example files and documentation. So okay, so allow this to run through. Okay, so it's complete, and we can just rename the file this to just x and ensure. So I'm just making sure that the not this time around. Right, so I'm just making sure that the RDX directory is, you know, kind of writable. So I need to remove the zip file here. So we need to do a couple of things in here. Okay, the first thing we need to do is we need to go into the, you know, the example subdirectory. Alright, so we need to copy a directory, the UX directory, and we need to copy it into the, we'll go back up a level in the X directory into the source directory. And once we do that, hopefully everything has been set correctly. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave the two directories here. We can go ahead and just kind of test the viewer component here. So you can see there's no point going to this. You can just type rd, and if everything went successfully, we should be able to have the rd, the UI loaded. So this is the the logo. Right, so so it's kind of stalled. Basically we should have the complete rendering of the page. Right, so let me just try this one more time. Alright, so let's see what the Apache log file is telling us. So we can see here the most likely misspelled time zone qualifier. So we selected Africa Brazzaville for this instead. Basically this is not related to Alright, so we can see here that we are required to set the date time zone format. So let's go ahead and try that. So I'm just going ahead and edit this, and we need to do this in the php.ini file. Alright, so in the php.ini file we need to look for the date time zone directory. Alright, so you can see the directory is commented out. You can go ahead and set a time zone. So for me, I'm in Nigeria, so it will be Lagos. So let's restart the Apache server and ensure that it is taking the new changes, and let's just try and give this a kick again. Oh yeah, so basically that was just what was stopping it. So basically this, you can see authenticate place. This is the new UI of the RadiusDesk format, so you can click the about. Right, so you can see a lot of things have changed. Basically you can see authentication of validation is going on. You can see the the translation that is already existing. You have one here, you have one for Sweet Africans. Basically this is in Arabic, this is the English version, so the default is English. So the default username and password obviously will be root and admin, and if you notice, it kind of has this desktop feel to it. This is because of the XJS kind of environment. So what we need to do here, basically to enjoy the UI as described by Dirk van der Walt in his in his mission statement here, is to make it professional, right? So we need to make it look as if it's a desktop. So to do that, you need to just press the F11 key on your keyboard to maximize the page. So I'm just going to go ahead and press the F11 key. You can see you have gone full screen, and you can see everything basically in the screen has been set. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. The default is the username root and the password is admin. So give it a try, and voila. So you can see here that somewhere down here, basically it's off the recording camera. We can see here that there's a button here, the menu button, that you can use to kind of navigate, and then you can log out. You can go to settings, for instance. So this, as you can see, has not yet been implemented very well, so we need to kind of just log back in. Let me just show you some couple of stuff. You can see access providers, so you can see the access provider window. You can see it's loading, so you can resize this. You can kind of scale it, so you can see the kind of interaction going on. Basically you can it uses some configuration files that we can go ahead and change later. You can see under you can see basically you can see NAS. Basically this is for NAS devices, so you can see the NAS has been set to 192.168.1.1. One of the things you can see here, the major thing he has done is actually to support sorting. You can see IP addressing scheme here. You can obviously edit, for instance, and you can say, hey man, my IP address is so right. So the NAS device will always be the device that is connected as your NAS. So you can describe this. You can say this is the Radius client. This could be one of your clients. You can see the map has not been implemented yet. Hopefully a lot of things are still going on. You can see it's still, like I said, not even alpha, but you can see the promise that this software is going to kind of give and allow, and hopefully this will go ahead, kind of make sense to you. So a couple of demos here, and then we can wrap up the video. Things like the realms, you can see the realms here. You can add realms. You can see the icon for the BYOD. This is supposed to be for the bring your own device. You can see in the NAS device, NAS device tagging. You can see profile. So there's a profile component here available to subscribers. So this is the kind of nitty-gritty of user permissions and controls. You can see the rights management. This is just to show you. You can see the access control container. You can see the realms. So for instance, you can see here that you're not supposed to delete any of this, so don't delete this at the moment. This is because it's still in development. So you can see the access provider rights. So here you can see there are multiple access providers. Hopefully it's not rendering well, but this is what you expect from a non-alpha code. You can see the realm. You can just go ahead and click on edit, so you can see alright. So one thing I will also want to show you lastly, obviously has a translation manager. So this is to help you can see the PHP phrases. This is to help you translate the project. You can see the I18 translation manager. You can see this for JavaScript, so you can choose the language you want to kind of clone from, or you could basically just say language of country. So you can choose a country. So you can say this language is for kind of Nigeria, and you can see the language. It's basically maybe Hausa. The ISO code is going to be NG. So you can see basically, for instance, this might not work, but just to show you how to quickly go ahead and get started and translating and creating countries and all that. All right, so yep, so you can see I've freezed the page. You can see I've freezed the page, so kind of switch to the terminal here. And one of the things I wanted to also see before we round up as well is in the cake tool, in the rd cake directory, there's a config subdirectory, and in there you can see that here you can change the database kind of settings. And you can see we use the default rd and rd, so you can change this when you modify it. You can also go ahead and kind of edit the radius.php file. So here you can see maintain similar configuration, and hopefully this will support direct kind of clients. You can see it supports open VPNs, dynamic clients, and the the PPPP. This basically has been there in Wi-Fi hotspot manager. So you can see the open VPN setup in the for the open VPN setup. So you can still have development comment code. This is basically because he's working on it. So the USR share and the kind of etc.db dictionary file. So this is just to go ahead and kind of explain to you what is going on in the realm of the radius part. So hopefully I will come back to kind of release an incremental videos just to cover majority of the parts, just to ensure that everything is intact, and we follow up as the development goes on. So hopefully this will get to see the light of day. It will be released as a full product, and a lot of things will have to so a lot of things will have to kind of just match up. So hopefully if you have any questions, I'll post this video here on my blog as well, and we're gonna post it in the Wi-Fi hotspot homepage. Excuse me, I'm just used to Wi-Fi hotspot. This is RadiusDesk, right? Your RadiusDesk page. and we're going to come with many documentation, and hopefully you can see we've created placeholders for setting up this in CentOS 5.6. This is CentOS 6, so hopefully the video will come in. You can see some explanations for developers. This is the interesting bit right here, so you can get interested in extending the platform as well. So I also urge you to kind of try to give credit to Dirk van der Walt. He has put so much time and commitment into this project, and basically a word of thanks will always be nice, and he will appreciate that. So thanks for watching, guys, and as promised, come back later and kind of follow up a video, and if you have a problem, if you need solutions or have a question, just throw it up in my in the comment section on the blog, and I promise to kind of reply you and kind of help you to set this up. So have a nice day, guys, and see you next time. Bye.